Sam Warren stood at the large window of his quarters on the Galactic Council station. The stars looked the same as they did from Earth, but Sam felt a million miles from home. After 5 years as Earth's ambassador, his patience had run out. The meeting was in 30 minutes. Sam straightened his blue uniform and took a deep breath. Today would change everything. "Ambassador Warren, it's time," said his assistant, Ryan. Sam nodded and followed Ryan through the curved hallways of the station. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved around them. Some had scales, others had too many eyes, and a few glowed slightly. After years here, Sam barely noticed anymore. The council chamber was massive, a round room with hundreds of seats arranged in rising circles. Each seat represented a planet or species in the galactic community. Humans, being newcomers, sat near the bottom. Sam took his seat as the council leader. A tall purple alien named Vox began speaking. "We now vote on system allocation for the next century," Vox announced. "The committee recommends granting the Valerian Empire 15 new systems for expansion." The Valerians, sitting high in the chamber, nodded with satisfaction. Their ambassador, a 6-armed being named Krell, smiled with too many teeth. "And for the humans," Vox continued, "the committee recommends 3 systems." Sam felt his face grow hot. 3 systems. The Valerians had contributed nothing to the council in decades. Humans had shared medicine, technology, and sent soldiers to keep peace in troubled areas. And this was their reward. The voting began. Sam watched as species after species agreed with the committee. Some avoided looking at Sam. They knew this was unfair. When the final vote showed on the big screen, Sam stood up. He wasn't scheduled to speak, but no one stopped him. "For 5 years," Sam began, his voice carrying through the chamber, "humans have tried to be good members of this council. We've shared our medical knowledge, saving millions on Carcadia during the plague. Our engineers built half the communication network you all use. Our soldiers die protecting your trade routes." The chamber grew quiet. Even the usually chatty Minturi delegates were silent. "And how does this council treat us?" "Like children. You take what we offer and give little in return." 3 systems. The Valerians get 15 while contributing nothing. Ambassador Krell stood up. "Humans are too young to handle more responsibility. You're emotional and unpredictable." "Emotional?" Sam laughed. "We're passionate, yes. We care about fairness, about growth, about helping others. If that's emotional, then yes, we're guilty." Sam looked around the chamber. "We came to this council hoping to find friends among the stars. Instead, we found politics and prejudice." He took a small device from his pocket and placed it on his desk. It projected a formal document into the air. "As the authorized representative of Earth and all human colonies, I hereby announce our immediate withdrawal from the Galactic Council and all its institutions." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Nothing like this had happened in 500 years. "Ambassador Warren, this is most irregular," said Vox, his purple skin darkening with stress. "Perhaps we can discuss this privately." "There's nothing to discuss," Sam replied. "The decision is made. Earth has authorized me to terminate all agreements, effective immediately." Sam looked at the other humans in the chamber. Lisa from trade, Greg from military, and the dozen others in various positions. They all stood up at once. "Humans are leaving this council," Sam announced. "You'll soon discover what that means." With dignity, Sam walked toward the exit. The other humans followed him in a line. No one spoke as they moved through the chamber. Just before reaching the door, Sam turned back. "We would have been good friends to have in the difficult days ahead. Now you'll never know." The door closed behind the humans with a soft hiss. In the chamber, chaos erupted as the council members began shouting at each other. But Sam didn't hear it. He was already planning humanity's next steps. The humans had walked out, and the council would soon regret everything. The council chamber remained in chaos for hours after the humans left. Ambassador Krell of the Valerians stood at the center, waving all 6 arms to get attention. "This human tantrum means nothing," Krell said. "They'll come crawling back when they realize they need us." Many council members nodded in agreement. The humans were young upstarts who needed to learn their place. High Minister Vox looked less certain. "We should form a committee to assess the impact of human withdrawal," he suggested. In a private room nearby, the human delegation was already working. Lisa Grayson, Earth's trade representative, typed quickly on her tablet. "I'm canceling all trade agreements now," she said. "By tomorrow, no human goods will flow to Council worlds." Greg Porter, the military liaison, spoke quietly into his communication device. "All human peacekeeping forces are ordered to return to Earth space immediately. Priority 1. Sam Morin watched his team work. "How long until they feel it?" he asked. Lisa looked up from her tablet. "Some effects will be immediate. Others might take weeks. The medical withdrawal will hit hardest and fastest." On the station's medical level, Chief Dr. Alan Ross received his orders. He gathered his human staff. "Pack essential personal items only," he told them. "We leave in 2 hours." A green-skinned nurse from Carcadia overheard and rushed over. "Dr. Ross, you can't leave. We have 30 critical patients who need human medical care." Alan looked at her sadly. "I'm sorry, Mira. Take this." He handed her several data chips. "These contain treatment protocols. It's the best I can do." Across the station, similar scenes played out. Human engineers, scientists, security personnel, and service staff all prepared to depart. In the council chamber, the arguments continued. A blue-skinned delegate from Minteri approached the speaking platform. "My world relies on human medical technology for our breathing illness," she said. "What happens now?" Before anyone could answer, alerts sounded throughout the chamber. The station's superintendent rushed in. "High Minister, we have a situation," he said. "Human medical staff are leaving. All of them. And the supply ship from Earth just turned around at the jump point." The chamber grew quiet as reality began to sink in. Surely they wouldn't endanger lives over politics, said Krell. A small furry delegate stood up. "They left treatment protocols behind. They're not monsters, but they're also not here anymore." The first day stretched into the first week. Then came the real problems. On a mining colony near the galactic core, an equipment failure trapped 50 workers underground. The human rescue specialists who usually handled such emergencies weren't there. "We can do this ourselves," said the colony manager. 3 days later, they reached the miners. 12 had died waiting. Lisa Grayson received the report in her new office on Earth. "Add it to the list," she said quietly. The list was getting long. On the council station, communications began to fail in sections. The quantum network that connected distant worlds flickered and dropped messages. "What's happening?" demanded Krell. A nervous technician explained. "The network runs on human-designed components. They need regular maintenance by human engineers who understand them. So get non-human engineers to fix it," Krell shouted. "We've tried," the technician said. "The technology is complex." By the end of the second week, 3 outer rim worlds reported outbreaks of the Carcadian plague. Without human doctors and medicines, the containment was failing. High Minister Vox called an emergency session. Attendance was poor as many delegates couldn't receive the message due to communication failures. "We need to send a delegation to Earth," Vox said. "Immediately." Krell objected. "That shows weakness. The humans should come to us." An elderly delegate from one of the oldest species stood slowly. "Pride is a luxury we can no longer afford," she said. "The humans have barely begun to withdraw, and already we feel their absence. Imagine a month from now. A year." The vote was quick and nearly unanimous. A delegation would go to Earth to open talks. When the council ships arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system, they were met by a line of human defense vessels. Captain Frank Miller of Earth Defense hailed them. "This is restricted space. State your business." "We come from the Galactic Council to speak with Ambassador Warren," said the lead delegate. Frank's face showed no emotion. Ambassador Warren is busy. Turn around. But we need to talk. It's urgent, the delegate pleaded. You had 5 years to talk, Frank replied. Now we're done listening. The transmission cut off, leaving the council delegation staring at empty space, with Earth's sun just a distant point of light beyond the human blockade. 2 months passed since the humans walked out. The Galactic Council's problems grew worse each day. On the trading hub of Nexus Station, shopkeepers closed their stores. Human goods had filled nearly half their shelves before. Now those shelves stood empty. No shipment again this week, a 4-armed shopkeeper told his last customer. No Earth coffee, no human medicines, no entertainment chips. Nothing. Similar scenes played out across council space. Planets that relied on human wheat or rice faced food shortages. Hospitals ran out of specialized treatments. The economy began to suffer. Admiral Kate Dixon sat in her office on Earth's moon base, reviewing reports. As head of human medical services, she had recalled every human doctor and nurse from council space. Admiral, the Carcadian plague has spread to 5 more worlds, her assistant said. They're begging for our help. Kate sighed. Send them the treatment protocols again. Nothing more. But people are dying, the assistant said softly. I know. And the council needs to understand that actions have consequences. On the council's central station, the situation grew desperate. Half the communication network had failed completely. Ships traveled blindly between systems, unable to receive navigation updates. High Minister Vox called another emergency meeting. Only 1/3 of the delegates could attend due to travel and communication difficulties. We need to try again with the humans, Vox said. Our situation is deteriorating rapidly. Ambassador Krell still objected. We can solve these problems ourselves. My scientists are reverse engineering human technology now. A delegate from a small agricultural world stood up angrily. It will take years. My people are hungry now. 43% of our food came from Earth. Another delegate added, the Carcadian plague has reached my homeworld. Without human medical help, thousands will die. Representative Zorax, a tall insectoid being, clicked his mandibles in frustration. The council must force humans to provide essential services. We should send warships to Earth. The chamber fell silent. Then nervous whispers spread. Our military relied heavily on human tactical advisors, a military official reminded them, and human-designed weapon systems that we can barely maintain now. Zorax sat down, his mandibles still clicking with anger. We must try diplomacy again, Vox insisted, with better terms for the humans. Meanwhile, on Earth, Sam Warren met with the Human Alliance leadership in a large underground chamber. The council sent another message, Sam told them. They're offering us 20 systems now, and seats on all major committees. Lisa Grayson laughed. 2 months ago, they thought 3 systems was generous. Should we respond? Asked Gray Porter, studying a map of council space on the large screen. Sam shook his head. Not yet. Let them feel our absence more deeply. On a distant mining world, a Valerian colony suffered its worst disaster in 50 years when equipment failed in their deepest mines. Without human engineering teams, repairs took 10 times longer than usual. Production stopped completely. The council met again, this time with barely 20 delegates present. We must accept human terms, whatever they are, said the elderly delegate who had supported contact from the beginning. Our civilization is crumbling around us. Vox nodded sadly. I will go to Earth myself. Perhaps they will at least speak with me. The next day, Vox's ship approached Earth's solar system border. Again, Captain Frank Miller's defense fleet blocked their path. This is High Minister Vox himself, the communication officer announced. He requests permission to speak with Earth's leadership. Frank's face remained neutral on the screen. Wait position, he ordered. For 3 hours, Vox's ship waited. Finally, Frank returned to the communication. Earth will allow a single shuttle with High Minister Vox and 2 aides to land at our lunar diplomatic facility. No weapons, full security scans. Relief washed over Vox's face. Thank you. We accept your terms. Frank's expression didn't change. Don't thank me yet, Minister. You haven't heard what Earth wants from you. As Vox's shuttle approached the moon, he looked out at the beautiful blue Earth hanging in space. How had they underestimated these humans so badly? And what price would the Council now have to pay for that mistake? Inside the lunar facility, Sam Warren waited, a slight smile on his face. The Council was finally learning what life without humans really meant. And this was just the beginning. 8 months had passed since the human withdrawal. The meeting between Sam Warren and High Minister Vox had ended with no agreement. The Council offered too little, too late. Humans stayed isolated in their solar system, watching as the galaxy struggled without them. Then a new problem emerged, one that no one had expected. Captain Eric Young of the Border Patrol ship Defender spotted them first. A fleet of strange vessels moving through what was once secure Council space. Those are Criven ships, Eric told his crew. At least 30 of them. The Criven Armada was feared across the galaxy. For years, they had stayed in their own territory, kept in check by human military presence in nearby systems. Now they were on the move. Eric sent an urgent message to Earth. Criven fleet spotted in Sector 7, moving fast toward Valerian colonies. On Earth, military leaders gathered in the command center. Admiral Jason Carter studied the reports with a grim face. Without our peacekeeping forces, the Criven see an opportunity, he said. The Council's defenses are weak and disorganized. News soon reached the Council. The Criven Armada had attacked and taken over a small Valerian mining colony. Within days, they captured 2 more systems. Ambassador Krell, who had been so dismissive of humans, now faced the loss of his people's territory. He demanded the Council take immediate action. Send the fleet to stop them, Krell shouted during an emergency meeting. But the Council's military response was slow and confused. For years, human tactical advisors had trained their officers and planned their defenses. Without them, no one knew how to coordinate a proper response. The Council ships that did respond were quickly defeated. The Criven pushed deeper into Council space. On Earth, science officer Diane Howard made an interesting discovery. She studied Criven communication patterns and found something strange. Someone has been talking to the Criven, she told Sam Warren, encouraging them to attack now that humans are gone. Who? Sam asked. I'm not sure yet, but the pattern suggests someone from within the Council itself, someone who wanted to use the Criven as a weapon. Sam frowned. This changed things. If someone in the Council had deliberately unleashed the Criven, it wasn't just politics anymore. Innocent lives were at stake. Meanwhile, the Council grew desperate. 3 more systems fell to the Criven in just 2 weeks. Refugees fled toward the Council's center worlds, overwhelming resources already stretched thin. High Minister Vox called an emergency session. This time, nearly all delegates attended, fear overcoming the travel difficulties. We must ask the humans for help, Vox said. The Criven will not stop with the outer systems. They will come for all of us eventually. Even Ambassador Krell didn't object this time. His people were suffering the worst of the Criven attacks. I will personally apologize to the humans if needed, Krell said, all 6 arms clasped in a gesture of defeat. The Council drafted a formal message. It contained a complete apology for past treatment of humans, an offer of 50 systems for human expansion, and seats on all Council leadership committees. It also included a desperate plea for military assistance against the Criven. On Earth, the leadership debated how to respond. Some wanted to ignore the Council's problems. Others felt a duty to help, especially innocent civilians caught in the Criven advance. We should at least stop the Criven, said Admiral Jason Carter. We can negotiate better terms with the Council after. Sam Warren agreed. But we need to find out who helped the Criven first. This might be a trap. Diane Howard continued her investigation. working day and night to trace the mysterious communications. Finally, she found something. "You need to see this," she told Sam, showing him her screen. The messages to the Criven came from someone high in the council. Very high. Sam's eyes widened as he read the name. "Are you absolutely sure?" Diane nodded. "Completely sure." Sam immediately called an emergency meeting. "We need to change our plans," he told the Earth leadership. "The situation is worse than we thought." As they discussed their response, another message arrived from the Council. The Criven Armada had destroyed a major defensive station. They were now approaching a heavily populated Council hub world. Millions of lives were at risk. Earth had to decide quickly: help the Council that had rejected them, or let the Criven continue their advance. And what about the traitor hidden within the Council itself? The Galactic Council was falling apart. Their communication systems barely worked. Different worlds couldn't talk to each other to coordinate a response to the Criven threat. Some planets didn't even know what was happening until Criven ships appeared in their skies. On Earth, engineer Paul Rodriguez worked with his team in a secret facility deep underground. They had spent months developing a new communication system, far better than the one they had shared with the Council years ago. "The quantum links are stable," Paul told his assistant. "This network will be 10 times faster than the old one." "Will we share it with the Council?" asked the assistant. Paul shrugged. "That's not my decision. But I doubt it. At least not without major changes on their part." In space, more problems grew for the Council. Some of the middle-ranking species had begun direct talks with Earth. The Minteri, the Carcadians, and 4 other species sent representatives to meet with Sam Warren. "We no longer trust the Council to protect our interests," said the Minteri ambassador. "We want separate agreements with humans." Sam welcomed them cautiously. "We're open to working with friends. But why should we trust you when you sat silent while the Council mistreated us?" "We were wrong," admitted the Carcadian delegate. "We see that now, and we bring valuable information about the Criven." They shared intelligence about Criven movements and tactics. It was useful, but Earth still hesitated to commit its forces. Meanwhile, the Criven Armada pushed closer to the major Council hub world of Centauri Prime. Nearly 1 billion beings lived there from dozens of species. If it fell, the death toll would be enormous. The Council's defensive fleet gathered to protect Centauri Prime. It was the largest fleet they had ever assembled. Over 200 ships. But without human tactical guidance, they positioned themselves poorly. The Criven attacked with surprising new weapons. Council ships exploded one after another. The battle was going badly. On Earth, Intelligence Officer Nicole Benson made another discovery. She burst into Sam's office without knocking. "I found something in the Criven weapon signatures," she said. "They're using technology that only top Council species have access to. Someone gave them advanced weapons." "The same traitor who encouraged their attacks?" Sam asked. Nicole nodded. "Has to be. And they must be very high in the Council leadership." Sam called an emergency meeting with the representatives from the 6 friendly alien species. Together they formed what they called the New Alliance. "We will help against the Criven," Sam told them. "But we need to expose the traitor first." The New Alliance agreed on a plan. They would help Centauri Prime but use the opportunity to gather evidence against the traitor. Word of this meeting somehow reached the Council. High Minister Vox called his inner circle together, his purple skin dark with worry. "The humans are forming a separate alliance with some of our members," he said. "Our authority is crumbling." Ambassador Krull pounded the table with 3 of his 6 arms. "We should never have allowed the humans into space. Look at the chaos they've caused." An older delegate spoke quietly. "The chaos began when we treated them unfairly. Now we pay the price." Back on Earth, the decision was made. Human ships prepared for combat. Admiral Jason Carter would lead the fleet to help defend Centauri Prime, while Nicole Benson and her team would use the battle as cover to gather evidence against the traitor. Just before the fleet launched, Sam Warren gave a final briefing to the commanders. "This is not about rejoining the Council," he told them. This is about stopping an immediate threat and exposing corruption. The old council system is finished. As the human fleet prepared to jump to Centauri Prime, news arrived that the council's defensive fleet had been shattered. Over half their ships were destroyed. The rest retreated in disorder. The Criven Armada now orbited Centauri Prime, preparing for ground invasion. Millions of people were trapped on the surface with nowhere to run. "We have 12 hours before they begin landing troops," Admiral Carter told his captains. "Let's move." The human fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel, racing to reach Centauri Prime before it was too late. 1 year had passed since humans walked out of the Galactic Council. Now the Council called an emergency session in their Grand Chamber. But this time, half the seats remained empty. Many species had reduced their participation or stopped attending completely. High Minister Vox looked tired as he called the meeting to order. The past year had aged him visibly. "We face unprecedented challenges," Vox said. "Our economic report shows trade down by 37% across Council space. Technology development has stalled. Medical crises affect 24 worlds." Ambassador Krell sat silently. His usual arrogance was gone. 2 of his homeworld's colonies were now under Criven control, with thousands of Valerians dead or missing. "And the military situation grows worse," Vox continued. "The Criven Armada now controls almost a quarter of what was Council space." A delegate from a small world stood up. "What about Centauri Prime? We heard human ships were seen there." Vox nodded. "Yes, human vessels arrived just before the Criven ground invasion began. They are currently engaged in battle to defend the planet." Excited whispers spread through the chamber. Humans were fighting to help Council worlds. "Does this mean they're returning to the Council?" someone asked hopefully. "That remains unclear," Vox admitted. "They have not communicated directly with Council leadership." The chamber doors suddenly opened. Everyone turned to look. A group of humans walked in, led by Admiral Jason Carter. The Council members went silent, then began to whisper again. "Admiral Carter," Vox said with surprise. "We did not expect representatives from Earth." "I'm not here as a representative," Carter said. "I'm here to share information." He activated a projection device. Images appeared showing human ships evacuating civilians from worlds threatened by the Criven. "For the past 3 months, Earth has been quietly evacuating civilians from planets in the Criven invasion path," Carter explained. "Over 2 million people have been saved." Council members looked at each other in shock. They had not known about these rescue operations. "Why weren't we informed?" demanded Krell. "We tried to contact local authorities," Carter said. "But your communication network is too degraded. So we acted on our own." Vox stepped forward, his pride finally broken. "Admiral, please. The Council begs Earth to return. We offer extremely favorable terms. Anything you want." The chamber doors opened again. This time, Ambassador Sam Warren entered with a small team. The Council erupted in applause, many members standing and cheering. Sam walked to the center of the chamber, but did not take his old seat. "I am not here to rejoin your Council," Sam said when the noise died down. "I am here to tell you the terms under which humans will help stop the Criven and stabilize the galaxy." "Anything," Vox said desperately. "Name your price." "First," Sam said, "we have identified a traitor in your highest ranks. Someone who helped the Criven. Someone who gave them advanced weapons." Shocked gasps filled the room. Sam nodded to Nicole Benson, who activated another projection. Evidence appeared in the air, showing secret communications and weapon transfers. "The traitor is Ambassador Krell of the Valerians," Nicole announced. All 6 of Krell's arms suddenly reached for hidden weapons, but before he could act, human security personnel appeared and surrounded him. "The Valerians deserved to rule the galaxy," Krell shouted as he was restrained. "The Criven promised us power once the Council was weakened." "You betrayed your own colonies," Sam said coldly. "Your own people died because of you." After Krell was removed, Sam addressed the Council again. The old council system has failed. It allowed corruption and prejudice to flourish. It valued age over contribution. That ends today. Sam displayed a new document in the air. This is our proposal for a restructured galactic governance system. A new galactic alliance based on actual contribution, not historical status. Vox looked at the document, and then at his nearly empty chamber. He had no choice. The council will consider your proposal, he said. No, Sam replied firmly. The council will accept our proposal. The Criven are still attacking Centauri Prime. Human ships are the only thing standing between them and 1 billion deaths. We can order those ships to leave at any moment. Vox understood the unspoken threat. He nodded slowly. Then we accept your terms, Ambassador Warren. The council surrenders its authority to your new alliance. Sam's face showed no triumph, only determination. The real work begins now, he said. The battle for Centauri Prime raged in space above the planet. The Criven Armada had expected an easy victory after defeating the Council fleet. They were wrong. Captain Laura Kelly commanded the human defense from her ship, the Horizon. She watched as her vessels moved in perfect formation, using tactics the Criven had never seen before. Target their command ships first, Laura ordered. Then hit their supply vessels. Cut them off from reinforcements. The human ships darted between the larger Criven vessels, firing with deadly accuracy. The Criven tried to adjust but couldn't match the speed of human decision-making. On the Council station, representatives from the newly formed Galactic Alliance arrived. They included humans, Minteri, Carcadians, and the other species who had joined the new organization. Even some former council members had switched sides quickly. Sam Warren led the group into the Grand Council chamber. The remaining council species watched nervously as the newcomers took seats throughout the room. Today we begin restructuring galactic governance, Sam announced. The old power structures are finished. Over the next week, the rules of the new Galactic Alliance were established. Every species would be judged by their actual contributions to galactic welfare, not by their age or historical status. Leadership positions would rotate, preventing any single group from dominating. Some former council species opposed the changes. The Valerians were the loudest, even after Krell's betrayal was exposed. We will not accept reduced status, said the new Valerian representative. We are among the oldest species in the galaxy. Age means nothing if you contribute nothing, replied a Mintari delegate. Humans did more in 5 years than Valerians did in 5 centuries. Eventually, the Valerians and other resistant species had no choice but to accept the new reality. Without human technology, medicine, and now protection from the Criven, they would not survive. At Centauri Prime, the battle was ending. The Criven Armada had lost over half their ships. The rest retreated from the system, pushing back toward their own territory. Laura Kelly sent a message to Earth. Centauri Prime is secure. Civilian casualties minimal. Criven in full retreat. On Earth, people celebrated the victory, but human leaders knew this was just the beginning. The Criven would regroup. The former council might resist changes. Building a fair galaxy would take time. In the council archives, historians updated their records. An archivist named Jiro carefully wrote a new entry. The human departure marked the most significant change in galactic governance in 2,000 years. When humans walked out, the council immediately regretted everything. But too late. The old order was finished. 2 months later, Sam Warren stood before the full assembly of the new Galactic Alliance. The chamber looked different now. The hierarchical seating was gone, replaced by a circular arrangement where all members sat as equals. We have made progress, Sam told them. The Criven have agreed to peace talks. The worst of the plague outbreaks are contained. Trade is increasing again with our new fair agreements. A Carcadian delegate asked, would humans have returned if the Criven hadn't attacked? Sam thought for a moment. Eventually, perhaps. But not to the old council. Humans weren't looking to leave the galaxy. We just refused to accept being treated as lesser beings. "And we learned our lesson," said a former council member. "Some of us, at least." After the meeting, Sam walked with Laura Kelly through the station. Emergency repairs had restored most functions, but now human engineers were helping rebuild everything better than before. "Do you think it will last?" Laura asked, looking at the mixed species working together around them. Sam watched as a human engineer explained something to a young Valerian apprentice. The Valerian was listening carefully, eager to learn. "I think it has a chance," Sam said. "Respect has to be earned." They're learning that now. In the distance, a ship arrived carrying representatives from 3 new species who had heard about the Alliance and wanted to join. The galaxy was healing, growing, changing, all because humans had walked out, and the Council had immediately regretted everything.